I think we'll make a start at 7:30. So it's probably easier if we start now. I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Sue Edwards, and I'm one of the teachers that teaches Certificate 2 in Community Services. So we have a 2-year program, and I thought what I'll do is show you a quick PowerPoint, a little bit about the course, and then open it up for any questions that you might have. The easiest way to ask the questions will be just through the question and answer here, which will come up as a chat, or you could put them directly into a chat on the side, which is just this little icon down here. So what I'll do is I'll close that for now. I'll share my screen and take you through community services, and then obviously, yes, open it up if you would like to ask any questions. So I'll share my screen with you briefly and we can go from there. Okay, so what I've done is I've hopefully just giving you a little bit of a overview of community services. What it allows you to do is go into a multitude of areas. So it could be childcare, aged care, youth work, drug and alcohol workers, police, any of those. You could be an education support person as well. So in terms of the course, we're actually running community services under a couple of banners. So you could do it if you're a VCE student, or you could do it if you're a VCAL student. And it's a VET course, so vocational education and training. It takes 2 years to get the certificate 3, but you do certificate 2 in the first year. So if you did 1 year of it, the first year, and completed all the units, you would come out with a certificate 2 in community services. Going on to the next year, you obviously would be able to get the remaining units that you need to make up the community service certificate 3. The VCE VET program, in terms of doing a VET, you can sit exams and you can make it. If you did it in first year, it would be unit 1 and 2, deemed as a 1 and 2. If you did it in your second year, so year 12, it would be a 3 and 4 units. So you can actually be marked and scored for it, and it can be part of your ATAR, or you could do it unscored. If you did it through the VCAL program, it would be unscored.
So some of the areas that we like to look at is the main aim of it is to get you geared up and skilled where you will be able to work in a variety of fields within community services. So whether it's with elderly, youth, policing, things like that. It gives you a really good cross-section of skills to deal with people and the community. So what we're looking at is that 2021 will see us offer the Certificate 2 in Community Services and Certificate 3. If you're going to look at 2022, again, your first year would be the Certificate 2 in Community Services, that's 9 units. And if you chose to do the second year, you would be doing another 3 units. They're quite large, they're about 65 to 80 hours each, 3 units in the second year, and that would enable you to get the Certificate 3 level. You can begin the program at year 10. You would enrol as an internal student or an external student. And if you were an external student, you would be going through the Brimbank Vet Cluster, which is a variety of schools around us that actually allows you to come onto the premises, enrol and come onto the premises and do the study. So if you are a part of the CRC Federation, a feeder school, you would enrol through them. And if you're an external student, you could talk to people, well, you can enrol with us, but also you could talk to your careers teachers, and there would be somebody at your school actually assisting you with the vets, and it could be an external vet like that coming to us. I'll just go through this briefly because it's a lot of information, but the idea is that what would happen, you need 90 hours of vet subjects, if you like, units or units of competency to go towards a credit for your VCAL certificate. So if you are looking for VCAL as a route, this would give you an opportunity to get 90 hours and a certificate, so you could come out with your VCAL certificate and your vet certificate. Within the program, you would do some structured workplace learning. It's usually around 10 days in year 1 and 5 days in year 2. It's like volunteer work, and we would hopefully be able to place you, or you would be able to look for placement within a community service sector that you like. So whether that is aged care, childcare, supporting in youth and drug alcohol centres, community health centres. Policing is one that is an option, but we tend to find that can be quite difficult to get into because of the privacy issues, but it's not to say that you couldn't do it. Obviously this year with COVID and the lockdowns, we didn't do our structured workplace learning. There was a big block where we were shut down, but that is what would happen if you were taking on the program either next year or the year after. So some of the things to think about is year 1, it's at CRC Sydenham. I'll just move my little thing down here. On a Tuesday, 1:50 to 5:20. Year 2 classes take place on Thursday, 1:50 to 5:20. So your first year would be on a Tuesday and your second would be on a Thursday. You get IVET student workbooks, but we also have a portal, the IVET portal, that you work through. So your assessments are going to be electronic, and you've got a workbook that will support you, but we actually do take you through the course and the theory and give you lots of opportunities. So you're not just sitting there filling out a book, you're actually learning, and then you can go to the portal and do the assessments. This is just, I've tried to put some photos of things like if you're working in youth, aged care, policing, things like that, to give you that idea of what it is about. Once students successfully complete the 2 years, they will have the Certificate 3. If you did get a not competent or not yet competent for a unit, you could take that up with a TAFE or an RTO once you finish, if you wanted to get that Certificate 3. That's just letting you know that if there was any problems and you didn't get one unit and it stopped you from getting the full certificate, there are options. But obviously our aim will be to work with you to get all the units so that you actually walk out with that certificate. Once you've got the Certificate 3, you could look at Certificate 4 or Diploma once you finish your schooling, whether you've got VCAL or VET. If you get a senior VCAL, there are many courses that open up for you without having to have an ATAR. But obviously, if you're a VC student, you'd be looking at an ATAR. There's 3 teachers at the moment currently taking it. So Josie Albano is a second year teacher. Myself, Sue Edwards, I'm looking after the first year students, and Shannon McFerrin has been looking after the first year students. I'll now stop sharing, and I'm quite happy if you'd like to ask any questions, or I'll put the chat. Hoping that I can give you the chat so you can see. Are there any questions that you would like to ask, or anything that I didn't cover? Obviously, you've had a little bit of information prior to this, but if you are thinking about going into any of those sectors, aged care, childcare, education support, policing, youth and drug, alcohol, youth worker, drug support, community health centres that might have a range of health opportunities, this is a really good course for you, and it's quite varied in what you do. A lot of customer service, negotiation, admin, a lot of people skills. So it's a really nice course to springboard into something else if you like as well. If you think, oh, I'm really not sure and I would like to do a vet, or I need to do a vet for my VCAL certificate, this is one that could be an option for you. Just wondering if anyone's got any questions for me. No question is a problem. Like, nothing's going to be out of the ordinary. If you are an external student or a Year 10 student, if you're a Year 10 student, you would have a morning class at your school and then come over to us. But if you're a VCAL student in Year 11 with us at CRC Sydenham, you actually don't have any classes in the morning, and you just go to that vet at 1:50 to 5:20. So you don't have a full day and then have a vet till 5:20. But if you are from a feeder school, Year 10, you possibly would. And if you are a Year 11 student at an external school, you may find that you have classes up to lunchtime and then they release you to come over. So that could be a bigger day for some of you, but for others, it might be that you're already there. Can this vet subject be used as one of the 5 VC subjects? Yes, it can, definitely. Yes. Yes. So what would happen is, you would be selecting your VC subjects, and you may have 4 and then your vet as your 5th, not a problem. If you're going scored VCE, you would sit an exam exactly like you would sit your normal exams in VCE. And our first year students that are doing VCE, Year 11s, are having their exam this Wednesday. So they have an exam in Year 11, and they would have an exam if they continued for Year 12. And the Year 12 one would obviously, their score would go towards their ATAR. So, yeah, definitely. Other questions, concerns? I didn't want to give you too much information, but just that idea of 9 units, they're much smaller than the 3 that you do in Year 2. Certificate 3, 9 units in the first year and 3 units, quite large ones, in the second year. So, but can be used as a VCAL or vet, VCE or vet VCAL package. You can do a vet without a problem as part of your main subjects. I might close that because it seems to be that Q&A is probably the best. Any other questions that, is it related if I would like to be a teacher? The issue with that is it will assist you if you would like to be a learning support officer, so an LSO, which would be a teacher's aide, but it wouldn't impede you being a teacher, but it wouldn't be the bridge that you need to go into a teaching course. So what would happen is, at the end of VCE, if you had an ATAR, you would then go and apply for a teaching degree. Now, in my day, it was a little bit different. We did a Bachelor of Education, or you did a Bachelor of a particular industry and then did a Diploma of Education on top of that. I know now it's there's a Bachelor of Teaching, so, and they may ask you to do some general units and then the teaching, but this would not directly lead to that course. It won't impede you, because it's not wasting your time, you're still at school, and it will give you great skills, but the actual Bachelor of Education or the Bachelor of Teaching will be very much teaching styles, how people learn, knowing content. This particular course is more about people orientation, so working within groups, whether it's with youth, childcare, or if you wanted to be a learning support officer, but you still would then need to go on to do the learning support officer course, which is not as intensive as a degree, but there would be another course that you would do. I don't think it would hinder you. You get great skills that you actually could transfer, but it won't, if you're wanting to be a teacher, you'd be looking at whether you wanted to go into an actual Bachelor of Teaching, secondary or primary, or a combination of both. And that would be a bachelor, a degree. That's a good question. You can also, obviously, once you've done the Certificate 3, you can go and do the Cert 4 or the diploma at TAFE, and that would be any TAFE. And the diploma may be still in community services, but within an area that you would like. It might be youth work, it might be something else, or you may find that you use the Certificate 3 and then you go into another course. So, for instance, if you were going to do policing, what you would do is do this course, and then they would prefer to take you when you're about 21. So you'd finish school, they want you to have life experience, and you would go out and work and then go into the academy that way. But if you were doing youth work or something, would I need to get into childcare work? What would I need to get into childcare work? This does allow you to go in, and you would be looking at the Certificate 4 or the diploma, and you could do that in childcare after you've done this course. So if you're doing Certificate 3 community services, you would then be able to apply for the Diploma of Childcare or the Cert 4 of Childcare at TAFE without a problem. And usually they're around 12 months. 12 months, maybe 2 years part-time, 12 months full-time, and you would be able to walk in, obviously go into a childcare setting as a childcare trained person. So it will help you with those. It'll help you with policing. It'll help you with youth work. It'll help you with childcare, but there will be a diploma that you would need to do within that specific region or area, that industry. Now, community services, once you look at the diplomas, they can offshoot into really focused areas, but you may also find that instead of doing a diploma of community services in youth work, you might find that the diploma of youth work would suit you better, and it's more intense and it gives you some options. But this is a really good foundation of a course to go into those community service areas, because you learn much of working with difficult people, diverse people, the health industry, childcare. We look at all those different industries as well. Now, if you did the Certificate 3 in community services and you were looking at going into other courses, you may find, whether it's the diploma or Cert 4, you may find that some of these units in Certificate 3 may be part of the Cert 4, and you might be able to get credits, because once you've got this certificate, it's a nationally accredited course. So whether you go to another state or stay in Victoria and study, if it's a nationally accredited course, then you can get credits for the exact same unit that you do in other courses. So if you do it in this course and then you go and do another diploma, and there's 3 units that we happen to have the same, which is, you know, working with diverse people, community health, something like that, you would get a straight transfer if you've completed it. So yes. Thanks, Mia. Thanks, Rita. Any other questions in terms of? An option 2 is to think about that if you were going to do this in year 1, the first year, you would get the Certificate 2 at the end of it, and you don't necessarily have to go to the second year to do Certificate 3. That would be your choice. You may find that you do Certificate 2 in a year, you're happy with that, and the second year that you're studying with us, whether it's, you know, at the year 11 to 12 stage or the year 10 to 11 stage, you may find that the second year that you're with us, you would like to do another vet and come out with possibly two vets. two vet courses at the end, depending on whether they're 1 or 2 years. But yeah, so you are not locked in to doing the second year and doing certificate 3. You may find that certificate 2 is enough, and you would like to look at another vet for your second year with us. Anything else that I haven't covered or that you need? But definitely think in terms of childcare. We're looking at childcare, policing, youth work, community health centres that might have podiatrists, you know, your local council health centres, aged care, any of those. This would allow you to get into that area without a problem. And again, if it's something really specific, like that you wanted to do teaching, then it would be a different path. But the learning support officer, definitely this would assist, and then you would just do the particular, sorry, I've got a cold, the particular course for being a learning support officer, which again is not that long. It's not like a degree. Okay. Any other questions or concerns? So you can think about it, obviously, in terms of what would suit yourself and whether you're looking at the 1 or the 2 year program, but you're only committing to the first year when you do enrol. And no doubt they would have taken you through that idea of there is a bit of a progression in terms of if you're interested and when you need to enrol. So you can obviously think about it and see the paths that you might like to take. But for the first year, it definitely will give you a certificate 2, which is great. Whereas sometimes vets might take 2 years to get that certificate. This one is structured that you would get certificate 2 first year and continue to certificate 3. No other questions? I'll just keep it up. We don't have that many people, do we? I hope the first part was really good for you all as well. Now, on the PowerPoint, there were 3 contacts. So there was myself, there was Josie, and there was Shannon. So if you do have any questions, you're certainly most welcome to contact us, and we can go through any of those with you. You can email or you can ring the school, which is 9361 0000, and ask for any of us, and we can take you through anything that you need. But the actual content, if you like, is unit by unit. We actually do a unit and do another unit. So you're not really doing the 9 at once. You're going, okay, I've done that, move on, I've done that. We use the books as support. You've got your teachers that actually do teach the class, and then you've got your IVET assessment. So the 10 days and the 5 days of work experience, hopefully next year and the year after, we won't be in a similar situation with a lockdown, because as you can imagine, a lot of our students were going to childcare and aged care for their experience, and you just couldn't within the environment that we found ourselves in. But those days can be volunteer, and we would be looking at places close to us so that you know, you may find that you're doing 5 days volunteer, or a day a week over so many weeks, or you might do a couple of days a block with them. And within that frame of the year, 10 days is quite doable, and the next year 5 days is quite doable. But you do have 3 big units, so you are working quite substantially throughout the year. So that would be enough, the 10-day or the 5-day. But we would be looking at places near us, people or organisations that you might already have contacts with. And there are times when we would look at excursions, which was what we were going to do, look at excursions in terms of taking you to places like St. Vincent's and things where we could do some hours there and actually get some volunteer hours up as well. So that's a bit of both. You're seeing that area of community service, and you're also getting some experience ticked off in terms of work experience. So we would try to work that in with you. We also would be looking at excursions to, say, the Magistrates Court, because some people do work with youth, and they may be facing homelessness, drug and alcohol issues, or court cases. So again, we like to expose you to a whole range of different areas that may be the career that you would like to go to or to move to. So, okay. if there's no more questions and you're quite happy to take in the information, I know it's probably been a bit of an overload this evening. The PowerPoint will and should be uploaded in the next day or so, 24 hours, and this particular Zoom has been recorded. So what will happen is when you get to the CRC Sydenham website, this Zoom will be uploaded and it will have the PowerPoint that I've just shown. So at any point you can stop it or access it without a problem if you need further information. Okay. So any more questions? I'm hoping that you could hear everything, because then it just said or any, which worries me because it actually said I could answer live. So I'm hoping that you heard everything. Okay. Any questions or concerns? No? Somebody's just messaged me from leadership, so I better check. All right, I'm going to end it now. Please go onto the website if you need, so you can access the Zoom. I might get this off so you can actually see me, that you can access the Zoom if you need to, and the PowerPoint. Okay. All right. And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to share some moments with me about the vet course. And hopefully, again, if you need anything, you can contact me directly, or Shannon or Josie. All right. Thank you. Have a good night. I'm sure you can hear me, but just in case. All right. Good night. Thank you.